Welcome back, party people. It's another Let's Play in history, and we're going to talk about the election of 1836 and continue on to this next part.
It took some detective work, but the gang and I managed to track down where Rajan had gone into hiding. Somehow, he'd managed to transform a long-forgotten temple into the thriving center of
Now, the primary candidates in the election of 1836. It's mainly Martin Van Buren of the Democratic Party with Richard Johnson as his running mate, William Henry Harrison with Francis Granger as his vice presidential candidate, Hugh White from Tennessee, I believe, with John Taylor as his vice president, and of course Daniel Webster with Francis Granger as his running mate, and Mr. William Magnum also with John Tyler as his running mate as well. Very strange election this is. Now basically from this point on, barring some weird election stuff going on, I forgot if they changed the election rules so that, the working class people can vote or whatnot, but from this point on, largely speaking, in terms of voter turnout, at least 50% of the eligible voters are going to be able to vote in these elections. Do you have something shiny for me? Oh, just you. Something nice and shiny. Oh, pff. Now at this point, Democrats have a large, pretty strong base, primarily in the South. They have a strong support because Andrew Jackson's killing it, giving people the opportunity, land, resources that they could ever want, making things actually equality. Wait, where am I supposed to go now? I gotta pay attention to this game a little bit more. Where is the spice room? Oh, shoot. There we go. You gotta be behind something. I mean, Andrew Jackson had literally just paid off the national debt that had been rising crazily for, the last 30, 40 years of the history of this country. Poll-wise, Whigs were just forming as a party, and again, like I said, they're splintered and they're just infighting. But they didn't have a strong base of support overall, pretty much in the North, with some support in the South. So it wasn't solidly South that the Democrats had support in, but it was certainly enough to sway an election. Sweet. Kick all y'all's butts. Running.
Some of the vibes around here are really slippery. Jump and hit the circle button to go for a ride. Here we go. Time for a few recon photos. Looks like half of the heart is being used to super irrigate the spice plants.
Now, poll-wise, and Martin Van Buren is not Andrew Jackson. Oh, come on.
Check it out. Rajan's half the clockwork heart on
And
that.
despite him being a good figurehead, it's kind of like with Reagan and HW, where it's like there's going to be some skepticism with Martin Van Buren in terms of following through with the ideals that made Andrew Jackson, for instance, popular, strong as a candidate. I guess the main difference, though, is Martin Van Buren, in a lot of ways, is like the brainchild of what the Democratic Party was. And despite Andrew Jackson being popular and powerful in the political sense, Van Buren was a lot more politically savvy, politically battle-tested in a lot of ways, knew what to do with leverage in terms of running things. You know, he's a wonderful politician, is what I'm trying to say. In the best of ways. I tend to have a personal opinion of Martin Van Buren the more I read about him. I'm not saying he wasn't corrupt or anything like that, but he's just an interesting individual who is someone who I think deserves much more positive and deserves to be remembered, I think more so, because I guarantee you, if I asked you who the president after Andrew Jackson was, maybe 10% of the human population might be able to answer that. I do need to save money, because I know I need the hang glider upgrade at a certain point.
Rajan is able to monitor all of our communications out here.
Now, poll-wise, though, despite the lack of consistent support, which actually did make this election at least potentially contestable and a real game, I guess you could say, a real challenge, would be that Martin Van Buren just doesn't have the same level of support that Andrew Jackson does.
Crude interpretation of the plan, but accurate. The trick here is harvesting the spice plants. You'll have to do some serious climbing, as they only grow high up in the jungle canopy.
Oh, you didn't even see me. Poll-wise, he's probably pretty dead even. And of course, the negative political papers are probably making it look like he's got no chance. In reality, it actually is probably closer to 50-50, which ironically is again the same reason why they lose in the several previous elections, is because they constantly are trying to split their vote, which makes things a little more difficult for them to actually try and gain consistent support. The Whigs are a very fractured and very just disorganized party, which is unfortunate because every time they do organize, they end up choosing, well, I don't want to say the worst candidates, but certainly the candidates that probably shouldn't become president. It ends up being like these old war generals, when like Zachary Taylor and William Henry Harrison, who has his name thrown into the ring as a potential presidential candidate. Where the heck are these other ones? There's one there. There's one there as well. But pre-polls probably have at least another contested election, which also shows me to believe that they're probably their equivalency of internal polls show that Martin Van Buren at least could hypothetically get 50+% of the vote and a majority in the Electoral College. So they thought at the very least, despite what initial polls and whatnot would probably make us think that Martin Van Buren isn't as popular, but ultimately he does have the broad support, which is why they try to do the whole contested election thing. Although this time, in their defense, there was, if anything, a slightly better case for this election than in previous elections. But to them, it's pretty dead even to pollsters and people who probably would be the equivalency of pollsters, which I think were just newspaper individuals who were trying to get the gauge, because canvassing back then is probably more a little bit different. It's like actual door-to-door, which then I think went to like postcards and stuff, and in the subsequent years when it became a little more difficult with people moving westward and all over the country. And probably certain, I would say, racial attitudes, because it's not like every single person who came to the country was going to be accepted. Scottish, Irish, Italians, you know how it goes. Oh. Cannot swim. What do you have in your pocket? Gold pen. Carries a gold pen around like that.
Sayonara, satellite array.
Another successful heist, or a successful mission done. Now, when the election does come around, all the political newspaper fighting, oh yeah, this person's bad, because it's all directed at Martin Van Buren, because he's just the sole candidate, while, Whigs are basically like, hey, at least we give you, options for president,
Why? The insect in that pool is a rare Indian water bug. If you can carry it into Rajan's office, its wings will transmit local sound waves at a frequency I can monitor.
Let me get this straight. We're gonna bug Rajan's office with a bug?
It is an elegant plan,
but
Now pay attention. That water bug can only survive in stagnant pools. If kept out of water too long, it'll become unhappy and likely draw the attention of local guards.
Looks like there's a few pools along the way to Rajan's office. A short swim every now and then should keep our little friend quiet.
look at the pools, though. You need to chill, bug. So I need to get up there. Oh, this is gonna be rough. Dang it. Unforgiving game. Dang it. I completely misjudged that. But the election goes on. After all the political engineering, results come in. Oh. Cranky bug. Martin Van Buren wins. He wins about just enough for a majority, about 170 or so electoral votes. Crap. Crap, did I lose the mother? And just for that, I'm gonna steal your chain, son. Steal your silver pen. It's not at all what I wanted. Running, 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 running. Sorry, now I'm just focused. I want to get this done. Just realized I'm going the complete wrong way. Come on, do not fall into the water. How do I get up there again? Ugh. Okay, let's try this. Of course not. Of course not. How in the dickens am I supposed to get up there? Just in case.
Excellent. I've already tuned into the bug's wing vibrations.
How's he not going to notice a
I
bug?
haven't seen you.
So that bug wasn't there before. What the hell? He wins 50% of the popular vote, as some polls would probably be able to tell you. Henry Clay gets the not Henry Clay, William Henry Harrison gets the second most votes. Again, they have a coalition, enough of a coalition that Democrats could be beaten by if they just rallied behind a particular candidate instead of trying to do what ultimately, in my opinion, because of a lack of confidence in themselves as a party, lack of belief because they are such a broad coalition that they're not going to be able to get enough votes to effectively secure one and rally behind a particular candidate, that they end up doing stuff like this in order to, well, try to win. And win through basically just politicianing or politicizing or using politics to their advantage, which some people might think as, kind of icky, egregious. I kind of go both ways on it, wink wink, because let's be honest, I mean, it's not like we're not, Republicans don't do the same thing or Democrats don't do the same thing. They absolutely do the same thing. It just depends on the level of, oh god, just don't die. Really? Do wish the level layouts were a little bit better in some of these missions. Suck it. You get to go home to your family tonight.
As I expected, Rajan is out for his daily tour of the operation. My sources claim he always carries 3 blueprints on him, which, when read together, tell you everything about his spice operation.
Too bad he doesn't have that section of the clockwork heart we saw during the recon. You could just pump him full of sleep darts and we could all go home.
Unfortunately, my sleep darts aren't powerful enough to affect Rajan.
What? How are you gonna get at those blueprints?
Rajan has an insatiable appetite for Indian watermelons, which, if eaten whole, will force even him to nod off for a while. Once he's asleep, I'll creep in and lift the blueprints.
Well, that's fine and all.
Man, Bentley knows freaking everything, man.
Equipped my sleep darts with a sonic disruptor. The strange sounds they make should be enough to lead the ever-curious Rajan from place to place.
Oh, crap. Crap, crap, crap. Crap, crap, crap. Okay, so it'll still let me have the first one. This game, I swear. Pfft. Running, running, running. This is BS. Oh god. Did it work? And it does work. Okay. Running, 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 running. What the? See, I can use some brain power. Hoo, hoo.
What? The blueprints? They have been stolen.
Ooh, he definitely not happy.
Set of blueprints. Great field work, Bentley. You're really getting the hang of this.
I've got some bad news. Rajan has gone into hiding somewhere in the temple.
I'm gonna end it after this part, then we'll talk about the election of 1840, which is a very, very interesting election.
Personal space to get the blueprints spooked him. To get his portion of the clockwork heart, we'll need to drive him out into the open. Given Rajan's spy-saddled temper, I'd recommend making him angry. First, we'll destroy the center of his operation, the spice grinder. Then we'll demolish the dam above the temple in an attempt to flood him out. If that doesn't work, I've made arrangements to exchange one of the temple's facade rubies for some high explosives, which, if necessary, we can use to flood the whole temple grotto. If my psychological profile is accurate, Rajan should pick up the other half of the clockwork heart before making his escape.
And look at those eyes.
Bringing it to us.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. God bless. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Keep it up. Peace.